Yeah, all about fit to the fellas and the boys, ladies, mantombazana, kirili, nabanyana, boo 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 boo. Welcome to my take, and this is your boy Mel. So today, guys, I just want to take a moment just to shed light on certain matter that involves the things that men should never have to say. You know, like men, as men, sometimes we usually put ourselves in situations that can be avoided, and then see, ithole nje sesibhixabhixana nodaka nento engekho nje uthole kodwa nje idrama nje izinto nje awuzange uyifake kwazo ekuqaleni but-ke nakho-ke uzobe usuphakathi but-ke namhlanje ngiyokukhipha khona. But before we get to that, don't forget to like, comment, share and subscribe to your boys channel. Kodwa hayi angabe suppose myself asihlale phezu kodaba. So I'm a strong believer that sometimes in life you do not always have to go through everything in order to learn life, like, or lessons. And I would like to believe sometimes we don't usually take time to actually interact as much as we should, just to, just give each other a little bit of some perspective with regards to how to handle certain matters in life. So I just took it upon myself to say, you know what, I've made a couple of mistakes of my own in life, and going through life and handling certain situations, there's certain things that I don't think everyone has to go through. But again, if I'm to raise something that you've already gone through, I don't get it hard in Dwana. Life happens. It is what it is. But if you've never been here or you've never gone through something that I'm going to talk about, then by the end of this video, consider yourself woke. Okay. So I made a little short list about the things that I would like to believe a man should keep to himself. And the first one, in my own personal opinion, um, is I do not believe a man should ever have to tell his future plans to people. Too often sesiyithola nje sitshela abantu iy'ndaba zethu ukuthi I'm planning to start a business, I'm planning to go back to school, I'm planning to be a what, I'm planning to change careers, I'm planning to, and too often we don't really realize the amount or the type of energy all that thing brings in. And too often we recklessly just say these things to people who are not exactly as close to us, or people maybe who are not so good at handling what we're telling them. So to after you've just told someone that abantu abasaqedi sebeyohleli nje bekuhlele emuva, like someone is always coming back to you, asking you, how is it going with the business, how is it going with that school thing, have you started, is the business popping, do you have customers yet, have you managed to do this, or you know what I mean, like people will put pressure on you and they already have timeline that they already set for you, with plans that you had initially brought up for yourself. Like to say, I decided to say I'm going to do this, but then the pressure comes on in the fact that people will put a standard, or they'll set standards for you for something that you said you were going to achieve at your own time. So when is this happening? Is this happening? How are you going to do it? How is it happening? At the end of the day, it's just unnecessary pressure from people. And you think to yourself, I said I'm going to start a business and it's only been 2 days. What kind of business goes up in 2 days? And sometimes we set ourselves up for failure and we make it so hard, even at a point where when we planned things and then they don't work out the way we wanted them to work out, we always have to go back and explain to people because we started off by telling them and we opened them up to this whole thing. So in telling them in somewhat way is like you're opening up an arena for them to have an opinion, or ukuthi babe nalo lento yokuthi uyafeel ukuthi naye is entitled to ask, like ufuna ukuphawula nje endabeni zakho because you've already told them, so they feel like they should always come back and get the whole full information of whatever has been going on or whatever you've been doing. Or so it is unnecessary drama, it's unnecessary pressure. I mean, if you are trying to get something to work, you do not need all of this. And the other thing, guys, sharing your future plans also is a bit risky, especially when you're a person who says, I want to start a new business. People will steal your idea. Maybe you just came up with a new idea to, I don't know, maybe something for blind people, or an easy way to, or a new product or formula, or you know what I mean. So if you share it, someone will steal your idea, or someone might just counteract and just do it faster than you do. So iyafana nalento, especially it happens with artists most of the show, or most of the time. So look at someone writes a script or comes up with something and then they go and pitch it to someone, or they just say it in passing before it's actually materialized. uthi uyavuka gwiqiqi uthi uyabheka ngale, they are doing what you said you were doing. And nalento, sometimes the people that we tell our future plans to are not exactly our friends. And I do believe that in life, if there's a term that is usually misused out of all, like not out of all, but mostly misused word in life, I think it's the word friend. So sometimes we just tell people "Kat badliwa umona," like jealousy, and they're just jealous of what you're doing, and so they'll just try and counteract whatever you're doing. And sometimes you just got move in silence and do your thing, and then present it as it materializes. Obakubona ususenza nje vele ukuthi okay uyenza kanje, but then at the same time it doesn't open them up to the whole idea of sebeyongena endabeni zakho sebelokhu bebuza ukuthi manje lento iqala nini noma iyaphi noma ibuyaphi, because you never really involved them from the initial start. The second thing I would like to believe a man should never have to share is should never share how much money you make. I think too often as guys we make that mistake. And as no, it's a pride thing. But sometimes maybe umuntu nama self-esteem issues that you always feel the need, maybe your value or people will see you differently after you express how much you earn. In which that always comes at a cost, because damn, people love counting your money. And trust me, you do not want that. You do not want that. I know sometimes it's hard to hide it because maybe you in a public service, or maybe you work a job that is generally known for how much it usually pays, or but still, even if that is whatever it is, you should never go out there and express it, because sometimes it's not even what it looks like. So don't tell people how much you make. Abantu bazohlala beyifaka endabeni zakho, and you open yourself up to so much. Uthola ukuthi abantu sebekukountela imali, abanye baney'nkinga, babhajetha ngemali yakho ngoba bayazi ukuthi awubani ukuthi uhola imali engaka ngeze akahluleka ukungisiza or whatever. I mean, don't even hint. Unganikezi hint ukuthi hayi mina ngihola u-3,000 noma ngihola u-5,000 noma ngihola u-60,000 noma ngihola u-20,000. Don't even hint your tax bracket. Just don't tell people shit, because at the end of the day, you we don't sell into a ning. Like I'm saying, people will just come and borrow money because by now, and some people won't even pay. Thola ukuthi umuntu avela ubhadala ngoba ubani uhleli kahle, or ubani unemali eningi, or ubani. So never have to share your financial situation with anyone. So uvele nje uyigcine njani, not even your mother. Your mother should never even know how much you earn. Like naye kumele aqagele nje ukuthi engabe uhola imali la abone nje isalukwazi ukuthi hayi ngizokubhekela ama-oledi whenever mina ngibhekela khona, but angazi ukuthi hamba kanjani. Ilapho phela uthola khona ukuthi abantu sebekutshela ukuthi yenzani ngemali yakho noma kanjani noma bakhulumela imali yakho because they know how much you earn. So close people out of your financials. It is yours, it is private, it should never get known to anyone. Never tell anyone how much you earn. Moving right ahead, another thing that I would like to believe as a man you should keep to yourself is never tell anyone of a bad financial situation you're going through. Like maybe you told you maybe a crisis nyana, or maybe you misuse your funds, or maybe you run short of funds, or never tell anyone who's not willing to help you. That's what I'm trying to say. Yeah, never tell anyone who's not willing to help you. Like too often, you just go and blurb your problems to someone. You tell out, hey, or maybe you made a stupid decision and then you messed up with your funds or whatever, you know what I mean. Yakutshela umuntu onjani ongekaze akusize ngalutho. Mayesuka lapho lo muntu indaba zakho enzani, they take them for entertainment. This is how I always say, sometimes we need to be careful because the people that we tell the information to are not prone to handling it well. Thatha indaba zakho seziyophenduka entertainment somewhere. They just go and tell people ukuthi bani njengoba umbone nje he's doing this one so and he's failing to manage his fund and doesn't have money, or you know what I mean. So don't make it a habit of just going around blurbing your bad financial. Even if you're going through stuff, don't tell your financial situation to someone who's not going to give help. The only time you should ever find yourself expressing or telling someone of your bad financial, talk to someone who can help you, and the one that you know has got your back, and they're probably going to come up with a solution to your problem. I also vele nje ukuhamba ukhuluma nje ukuthi hayi nginenkinga lana, or abantu abangeke bakusize ngalutho. Into ozophenduka yona inhlekela nje, bazobe behleka ngawe nje la. phenduka inhlekisa nje ebantwini behleka njalo nje ngawe ukuthi ha ubani njengoba umbone nje uhlula ukuphatha indaba zakhe noma yini. So don't ever put yourself in a spotlight where you have got people at the back bekhuluma ngawe, unganikeza abantu indaba zokukhuluma ngawe ngazo. So never really express your sometimes you just need to keep quiet. Just assess the situation, assess who you're talking to. Make sure every time you talk about your financial situation, you're talking about someone who's going or who is willing to help. And this one usually happens a lot. The next one, the one that I'm about to mention right now, it happens a lot. Don't tell guys you fucked a girl. Amachita, usually they just start up drama them a day. Like usually maybe you've had a girl or you've got a girl that has been your home girl for a while. Maragota now nje uvele ufuna ukushaya nje all along. And then finally maybe uthola ukuthi now umthole tizinyana or something changed about you and then she found you attractive or something. You know how dynamics always shift in relationships, but you've been waiting for the longest time. And then now asu shaya ngempahla. Unbusu siyotshela amajita. Hey, amajita azomoshela bafethu. Don't ever tell the gents you fucked a girl, because you know amajita, you never really know sometimes. Sometimes amajita they like her, so you never know, and they would have never really told her they really like her. So umuntu uzosuka la ahamba aye kuye ugirl ayokhuluma ukuthi ubani ungitshelwa athi ini iwasa kwacima or whatever, because it's really quite tricky, and it's quite a tricky situation. Like I said again in the beginning, that this word friendship is a word that is usually misused than most words that I know. Like, people can identify themselves as a friend, but sometimes they're just not your friend. And ahamba umuntu ayobuza ugela ukuthi kathi ubani ungitshelwa wathi wena naye nishayile impahla. And trust me, that's just backstabbing. They will backstab you kanjalo, or maybe bazama ukumoshela, or they just want to know. You know how much it can be like umuntu ufuna ukwazi nje kuphela. Hayi ukuthi sometimes ukuthi maybe ufuna ukumoshela. They just want to know ukuthi ngempela yenzekile. Avela afika athi hayi esinikiwe umele usungitshelile la ukuthi wena lo siniyayishaya lezi zinto. Yabo. And ucabanga ukuthi mina usinike amayizo zothi uyangibona uzonginikeza yini impahla again? Probably won't, right? Because she trusted me at a certain point, and it was a private thing between me and her. And to be honest, it comes off as immature. Only like she shared an intimate moment with you, and she's expecting you to keep that quiet. And if there's one thing about women love to feel safe in certain spaces, and they usually want to do more. But the fact that you don't provide a platform for them to feel safe and to feel like they probably won't feel safe to do anything, even if they got their phone, but I got team. So that's where the trust aspect comes in. So sometimes it comes of it as a compromise. So she needs to trust you to be a freak. Women want to be freaks sometimes, you know what I mean? They want to gobble it, you know what I mean? So I won't get into the details, but for them to do that, they have to trust that this guy lo engeza naye zonke lezi zinto angeke azaze akhulume. Manje sekathola ukuthi le bar iyacula. Hayibo, usinike ngeke wasanginika, because she has found out that okay, this guy, we did this, and then he goes and tells someone, and I thought this was gonna stay in between us. You know what I mean? So too often we like sharing certain details, but then we shoot ourselves in the. I think I've had to learn that the hard way. So yeah, guys, don't tell amachita certain. They don't really have to know. So just shy impahla ngokuthula, yabo. Singawu sneaky. And just not to leave this one out. Let's also normalize not sharing personal sexting. Sometimes, guys, siyasitshela abantu ezinye izinto that are really private about certain people, or ukuthi bani wenzani masingale, or bani wenzani masingale. Amajita akhuluma man, yazi ezinye izinto, and sharing people's pictures, and don't do that. This is how women usually lose attraction, because a real grown man wouldn't do that. So uthola intombazana sikumayiza or isiku-ignora or kanjani, kanti sefikile utsotsi wahamba wayo uyifikisa, or sekwazi ukuthi le barrel is not mature. So that's how a woman will probably lose interest, to say I trusted this guy, but ngathi kulokhu ngani la ekhanda ngathi akakhulile. How do you do that? So don't share personal sexual things that happen between you and someone, because they're bound to come out. and someone will just let them know, but hi, there's been a breach of privacy somewhere. So yeah, I do recommend that you keep whatever um sexual details or whatever goes on between you and someone else private at all costs. I think it's a mature thing to do. And the more you keep it that way, the more a lady feels safe around you. Another thing that I would like to believe a man should never have to share is the problem that he has is with his girlfriend. I think too often we are blinded to the whole idea that sometimes people don't always have our best interest at heart. And we fail to notice that some people are happier when you were single, or maybe they were happier when you were single. Thola ukuthi ngesikhathi wena usase-single, they enjoyed more in the sense that you were more available. Maybe you were forking most of the bills. Maybe they could be around you whenever they liked, or you know how it is, how there's always a shift of time. Makathi ngesikhathi ngisase-single, I usually spend most of my time with my friends. And then when I have a girl, now I have to break my time, you know what I mean, and try and share it apart, or see my friends sometimes, see my girl. And so they were happier when you were single. So when you go to them with your problems and then you tell them, me and my girl are facing this problem, they are not the person, or should I say, they're not the best person to consult, because they'll probably try and throw it off, just say, my zantwana yazudotilo velushienj, so that you can be single again. And like I said, people always have their best interest in their heart. And usually this happens if the person is not in a happy relationship, or they are also suffering somehow, or so you were their own source of finding the light somehow. But sometimes, even if someone is in a happy relationship, there's also some bias. Some people in Japan no more. Totally, they just like to have something over you. They rather prefer you be the one who doesn't have love, and they be the one who has the relationship goals intact. So too often we don't really pay attention to all these little things. But as we go through life, you start paying attention. You think, no man, this is what happening. This person is not really my friend. And ngaqhubeka naye uzohlala ngedwa la. So don't let your friends make you single or keep you single, because sometimes they're just only looking out for their own interests. So don't tell people your problems all the time, or at least if you are to tell them your problems with your girlfriend, at least let it be a trusted friend, the one that you know is genuine, or maybe that has been tested for the longest time. You know, kulabanye abangane nje that are just better than others. So don't just, I don't know how to, but now so when you do your own math on how you're gonna handle it, but be careful with who you tell your relationship problems to. And to add on to that one, speaking of relationships, another thing a man should never have to tell is, you should never have to tell people your girlfriend's bad qualities. Akekho umuntu 100%. Bahlala besho ukuthi intombazane 100% uzoyithola kuyijuice. Angeke uzuyithola intombazane 100%. So too often people go out of their way and they go and vent somewhere ukuthi intombi yami ayenzi kanje, or yenze kanje, or unalo mkhubo wokwenza kanje. Lapho uthola ukuthi maybe utshela umndeni wakho, you're telling your people, you're telling your brothers, you're telling your sisters, you're telling your friends, and what you're doing is you're painting a picture of that, who that person is, and they've never really met them, and all they know are the bad qualities of that person. So by the time when usiyoba-introduce lapha, or usiyom-introduce la ebantwini bakho, they will have an attitude. Uthola ukuthi ufike endaweni abantu abasamamukeli umuntu wakho, or wena nje personally, maybe le ntombi yakho ihamba iyokhuluma udoti la kubo ukuthi ubani kumele usakangiphansi kahle, or ini njani njani, kwasha kwacima. Uthi uma ufika endaweni abantu babande, you know what I mean, you just wonder, or why are your friends not receiving me with love, or why is your mother giving me attitude, or mara usemtshelile ukuthi le bhare kuyangijithela, or le bhare kwasha kwacima that day azange ngifonele. So they've watched her go through all these painful emotions all because of you, and they don't think you're the best fit for them. But then it's because she was letting them in on those matters. So you as a guy should know better, and just know what there's certain things that you deal with on your own, and you don't have to tell anyone. Like, deal with that shit. Don't vent about everything. Akekho umuntu perfect. There's no one is perfect. Everyone has got their own, but you don't have to let everyone. So if it's something you can deal with, keep it to yourself. Deal with it. So by the time when you introduce your girlfriend or your partner to your family or your friend, they'll be at a better place to welcome them without attitude. So I think we usually don't pay attention to certain aspects when we're handling certain matters. So be careful how you handle these things, so that you, my brother, when you take that makoti home, they welcome her with warm arms. And another one that I like to believe a man should never have to share is your personal or private stuff. And when I say personal, I'm relating to issues like maybe lento kufana nokuthi maybe you've once had an STI, or you got molested, or you've got erectile dysfunction, or inkinga nje, or maybe uchithile. Or so one thing I think we fail to understand most of the time when we share these things with our friends, that our friends also have partners. And before you tell them, you always have to consider the fact that yazi umuntu lo mangimtshela la, ngiyazi ukuthi uzohamba watshela umuntu wakhe. Niyazi pillow talk. Umuntu esenomuntu wakhe sokudlala isnake park sifubele isiduda. Eselele la umuntu. Umngane wakho lo esethi baby yazini ngathi angisakutshela. Unprovoked indaba zakho. Seyikhulunywa emnyameni abantu bethandana ngazo. They will tell someone. That's one thing for sure. So it's guaranteed, dude. You need to be very careful with your private stuff or personal stuff, because people will not always handle your sensitive information or sensitive stuff that you relate to them in privacy or in confidence. You say, you know what, I want this to stay between us. They will at least tell their partner. Yes, sometimes it might never even leave their bedroom or maybe whatever, but okusalayo umuntu uzoyigonyula kanje indaba vele ayithi ayibekele umuntu wakhe khiqi. Ungababoni behamba bebabili, bayazi bobabili, sebeyitsheleni ukuthi phela lo nje umbone nje. Hakwasha kwacima kwathini kwasha madamana amanzi kwathini ayonto enjalo. So we need to be very careful. So every time you consider telling your friend an issue, just know that you stand the risk of him also telling his girl. Usually just a given for most issues. And what's this guy just to further just give it a little more clarity. Awuthatha uyicabanga ngale ndlela ukuthi ebantwini esesijole nabo, mina personally ukuthi ngathi abantu esesijole, abantu esengijole nabo personally, you think to yourself, every girl I dated told me something about their friend. Like they did tell me something personal about their friend. Ngisho nalaba abanye uthi uthola ukuthi asi girlfriend deep, or maybe it's uzokutshela indaba zabangani bakhe. Abanye you have never even met them. You've never even met some of the friends. Mara usezikhiqize zonke, uyazazi ukuthi baby ubani kunje nje. Uthi nalapho nje, when you seeing them for the first time, you're now just putting the face to the stories. So yeah, we need to be careful with how we relate these things as we move forward. So you just know umuntu mawumtshela something, you stand the risk of them also sharing it with their partner. Hopefully it never leaves their bedroom. So depend ukuthi nalo partner wakhe inhloboni yomuntu, abanye bavele bayibeke nje. Indaba zakho bafethu, indaba zakho. Yo. So basically, the whole moral, or should I say the whole intention behind this video today was just to say, let's just normalize keeping people outside that business. There is no need for people to know some of those things that we let them in on, because all they do is misuse, abuse, misunderstand, just create unnecessary drama with certain things that are probably sensitive to us or are important to us. And you just need to normalize thinking that people don't give a fuck. Like they literally don't give a hoot about what's really going on. So sometimes you just have to normalize just not saying things, because they don't have to know. They really don't have to know all these things. And thina sihleli nje njalo sifaka abantu enjalo, and you gain nothing from all of this. You literally gain nothing from all of this. So it's just something to think about. But I should have just kept quiet. So with all experiences and all these funny situations and all these dramatic altercations you just go through life, you realize I could have just avoided all of this. And that's you taking accountability to say, this could have all been avoided if only I just learned to keep quiet about certain aspects of myself. But then it all comes back to a person learning how to love and respect themselves fully, to just say, you know what, I'm a vessel and I'm to be respected, and I'm going to move a certain way. And yeah, and respecting your goals and knowing that you keeping them to yourself will probably lead to a better chance of you getting to wherever you're going than ukuthi yonke into yakho nje vele ihleli igcwele ebantwini. So yeah, basically that is just all of it for today. So this is your boy Mel and I'm signing out. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Till next time. Bye.